Hi everyone, it's Terry. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to do part 4, which is a tutorial on how to make a YouTube thumbnail for your videos. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see my screen. I still haven't learned editing, so I can't do screenshots, but I'm hoping that with the larger size it'll actually show that you'll be able to see some of what's going on. You can see the screen's changing, and I've been through this twice. This is number 2. The first one I had a lot of issues with, but I had to reboot my computer, so hopefully everything is working out fine now. And please excuse my hair. I can't do a thing with it, and I need a cut so bad, and it just sticks out all over my head. There's nothing I can do with it. And hair salons just aren't open during the pandemic. They're talking about opening soon, but it's going to be on a very short appointment time, because can only use half their staff. They have to keep everybody 6 feet away, so I don't know when it'll be before I can actually get my hair done again. I usually keep it short and, close to my head, but this is just hanging everywhere and I can't do anything with it. But that's not the topic of this video, so let's get back to creating thumbnails. When I first made my first thumbnail, I used PicMonkey. Now, PicMonkey is another program where you can create and design things, but I don't know how to use it very well. I did manage to create the watermark it goes in the lower right corner, and I created that, but I could not do the thumbnails because I didn't have a size. I had no idea what size to make them, and then when I would pull them up and upload them into the video as my thumbnail, there would be black space on the sides because they weren't the right size. So I did a lot of research, and finally I found out that Canva.com makes YouTube thumbnails quite well, and it has a template that you can use specifically for YouTube thumbnail, and it will be the right size. Now, I'm using Canva.com, but I'm using the free version. You don't need the professional version for this. You can make a very simple thumbnail with what's available in the free version. So unless you want to buy the program, and it will keep asking you, that's one of the things that they use to try to get you to buy, because you want that to go away. But anyhow, this time I hope that everything works out right. I did realize I was doing something wrong earlier, and that was part of my problem. So I'm doing this without notes. It means I'm doing this, from memory, which sometimes memory is not the best thing to rely on, especially mine. I can say that because it's me. Someone else saying it might get a little offended, but it's me, so what can I say? Anyhow, so here's the home screen for Canva.com. When you get here, you're going to go up to the upper left-hand corner and look for the teal colored Create a Design button and click on that. Under there is a drop down, and you'll see YouTube thumbnail. You're going to click on that. So now your size has been set. It will make it the right size for a thumbnail. You have to upload your photo. Now, how you keep your files on your computer is a personal thing, and mine isn't completely set up the way it needs to be yet. I am not exactly sure. Oh, yes I do. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. You have to go up here to the teal box again and hit upload. It's like, why is this not working again? Okay. So when the screen comes up, I know that the last picture I took, because I have to send mine from my phone using Dropbox to get it on my computer so I can work with it. I don't like using, I mean, there's programs to use on the cell phone, apps. I'm not the best when it comes to apps. I used to be really good with technology, but technology has passed me by since I've been out of work and on disability for the last 10 years. And you know, technology just changes from day to day. So I'm at a slight disadvantage now than I used to be. So anyhow, you select the image you want to use. So I select the image. I hit open. It brings it over into this black screen on the left-hand side. You should be able to see the black screen. I can see it from here on this little camera screen. So you would select your picture. Now that's the size for YouTube, but in order to work with this right, what we want to do, and I don't know if you can see it, there is a white canvas, what they call their canvas, that goes around. And what you want to do is you want to put this picture into the box to fit the size of the canvas. And it will turn purple when you've hit the line, so you know when you've hit it. So there's that, and we're going to go up to the top. There's that, and then both sides. There's purple. It shows you it real quick, so you have to watch for it. Let's see. There it is. Okay, I've got it. All right. Now the same thing happened. It happens for some reason. The picture slides down to my chin. So usually what I do is I select the top handle, bring it down to the top of my head, and then move the picture up. Make sure it's in, the purple lines are there so it's in. And then when I bring the bottom handle down to the bottom of the canvas, right there, well, you see a little more. I guess I should have taken the picture a little bit further away, but this is just a test, so I'm not going to worry about it too much, because I'm not going to use this one. This is just a testing picture I took real quick to make this video. So now everything's open up on the canvas. Up here at the top of your canvas, you're going to see 5 buttons: effects, filter, adjust, crop, and flip. Now those are something you can play with. I have no use for them in my thumbnail, so I'm not messing with them, but you can play around. There may be other things you want to do with this program. It has a lot of templates for things. It's a lot you can do with it, so you know, it's not limited just to YouTube thumbnails. But for me, those buttons aren't of any use, so I'm not going to mess with them. You'll get a drop down with, you know, selections, and you can change whatever you want and play around with it, and then, you know, put it back if you don't like it or whatever. So now the next thing I want to do, and I'm only going to show you the screen, I'm not going to use it because I don't use the boxes anymore. When I first started making them, I used to put the box around it, but I decided I liked it a lot better without the box. But if you like to put your text in a box and have a, you know, like a border around it, a colored border under it, you would actually go over here to the far left again. You would click on elements, and then in this black screen, you're going to get pictures, you're going to get shapes, and you can use any of those. You just drag them over into your canvas. But as I said, I'm not using any of them. I prefer not to. I don't like my text in boxes. It's just the way I am. So for me, next is text. Right under it, under elements, is text. So I click on add a heading and drag it over. Okay, so here's my heading. This is where I start with the first thing. Now, you want to keep your titles on here as short as possible, as few words as possible. You don't want a whole sentence on there, and you don't want it too big that you've got so many words for people to look at. You just want to do a quick, short thing. Like I did one, and I was talking about pantsers and plotters, and so that's all I put on there. Pantser or plotter and a question mark, and that was all I wanted. And it was short and to the sweet, to the point, which is what you want to try to do. So right now it's highlighted, so I should be able to change the text. And so this is going to be the first one. You can put them in separate if you want to have different fonts, if you want to have different colors. You would add a heading for each one and go ahead and set it up. For this test, I'm not going to go into all those things. So up here now on the left side of the upper left side of the canvas, your choices change. You can change the font. So I was told to keep the font as easy to read as possible, and Oswald was one of the choices they suggested. So I changed that to Oswald. I don't know if you could tell, but it went to a much thinner letter. The other letters were really thick and hard to read. Right next to that is the size. So let's say you want to make it smaller. It was at 50, so I'm going to make it 42. So that's what I wanted to be 42. The next selection is colors. Here's where you can change the color of your text. So I tend to like teal, if you can't tell. Even my channel dashboard is teal. So I select teal. When I select off of this, come on, okay, you'll see now that my text is now a teal color. Now, if you want to move it, you can move it wherever you want. And if it's just one, it's very easy to move. However, if you have other things that you want to move with it, you would actually, or you have a border, for example, you would have to actually click here and highlight to try to pull in all the elements for that one piece, so that when you do move it, everything will move together. It takes practice. It took me forever to figure out how to make that box and collect all the different lines so that they all move together, Here you also have the choice, underneath you have the choice to change if you want it to swing to one side or the other. You could change it to whatever you want there. It's right under the box with the text in it. And like I said, you can add another one if you want it. And let's say you add another one, you've got two choices. You can either copy this, which is on the upper right side. There's a button that says duplicate. It has 2 pages with a plus sign. Hit duplicate. It makes an exact copy, of what you have already. So now you've got a whole separate one to work with. So now we're going to change this one to, sure we are. Sometimes highlighting it is hard. Highlight it and change it, and changing text. And I didn't get far enough. There's a button over here again next to the font color. You got bold, highlight, italic, underline, center it. This button with the capital A and a small K changes it to uppercase. So now I don't have to type it uppercase. It changes into uppercase. So that way, and I should have done it for that one, but I got sidetracked. So now the text is all uppercase, because I kind of like mine uppercase, but that's a personal preference. You may like yours with upper and lower case letters, but that will change it if you want to. You also have a button here that'll let you make a list, which I haven't tried, but it's bullet points, so I'm sure it'll set it up so you can, set up bullet points. And then the last button is spacing, and if you click on that, it lets you do the line height, say you want it further apart or closer together. You can do that. If you go up here to letter, you could change the letters so they're further apart or closer together. Again, that's all personal thing, but you have those options available to you. So now, this one here, I want it to be straight. A little harder to get it straight than it is to get it to turn. Got it. 0%. That was hard. I should have done that first. Anyhow, so now I've got this one going this way. I've got this one down here. It's bigger. The text has been all capitalized. And then if this works right, if you want to move all this, you decide it's not where you want it, highlight the whole thing, it'll grab it all, and when you move it, everything moves together. So you don't lose any of your placing, whatever you've set up, you can just move it to wherever you want it on the page. You have to remember to highlight it to collect all that you're moving. Otherwise, move them separately. That's, if you don't like this up there, it's separate now, should be. When I click on it, I can move it down. And, I click on this one, and let's say I decide, well, let's make this one a larger font. Tells you what your font is, and then you can go ahead and change the font. In this case, it made it 2 lines, so if you want it on one, you have to stretch it out so it fits on 1 line. Or go back to a smaller font. And then, you could change, you can move it, click off it, and then back on it, and move it over to where you want it. So let's say now you finally decided this is where you want it. It's like you want. But then again, you're thinking, oh, maybe I'd like to put my logo on there. So you would go to upload, wherever your logo happens to be. Now this saves whatever you upload. So in my case, what I'm using is my little watermark. So I just drag it over here, and then I resize it. And I move it over into the left-hand corner. That's where I want it. And you want to keep everything out of the upper right and lower right, because that's where a lot of things show up on the video, and you don't want them covering up your thing. So you could put it, put a logo there if you wanted to. Or add a photo. You could add, a photo if you wanted to. This doesn't work for what I'm doing, but you can add photos, and you can add all kinds of stuff. I mean, there's just so much in the program to choose from. All right, so I've added my little logo. And then where we go next is we're ready to download it. We have to go up to the top right where it says download. This is where I ran into the problem last time. I wasn't sure what was going on. Hit download. It says PNG suggested, but you're going to click on that and choose JPG. And then you're going to hit the teal again. That like my colors. Hit download. Now, depending on your computer, I can't say for sure where it's going to go. After you click the X, unless you want to try the Canva Pro free for 30 days, X out of that. That's going to show up all the time. They're trying to talk you into it. I forgot. I couldn't figure out last time why I couldn't download. My downloads go down here on the bar along the bottom. So there's my test for video JPG that I just saved. I click on it. It's going to take me out of this program, and it's going to take me to my my photo editor. Sure, well, sometimes I wonder about computers. I mean, they can be great, but when they're acting up, they can be really annoying. All right, we'll double click it. Maybe I have to double click it. I had to double click it, I guess. I see it's moving now. Hopefully the photo's gone too. Now, I don't know how your particular program and computer is set up. I have noticed when I looked at a lot of YouTube videos trying to get the directions for making a template, the YouTube template, that when they used screenshots, it didn't match up with what was on my screen, and it caused a lot of problems for me to try to find out what they were talking about. I'd have to run the video, stop it, run the video, stop it, and try to find out, where it is on my screen. So it did take a while to figure out. Now okay, so now it's highlighted, my picture editor. It would be, which one is it? Well, I did it twice because I wasn't paying attention, and I clicked it twice. So I guess the first time was enough. So here, the only play I have to save it is to right click, and in that box that drops down on the right, on your right click, hit save as. Brings up the box for you to choose where you're going to save it. Now I have a YouTube video, and I have a test in here already because that's where the last one went after I got off the camera and figured out what I did wrong. And then you hit, give it a title, put it in a folder. I have to create folders still. YouTube is a little unwieldy, and I still want to learn editing, and I have to have them in things in folders, and this using Dropbox to switch between my phone and the PC is a little aggravating as well. But I mean, it's things I have to work around because that's all I had to work with. If I had a camera, it'd probably have a camera memory card, and you would pull that out and put it in. I don't know if this computer even has that, but the newer ones do. My computer's pretty old. So I want to hit save. I gave it a name, and save. And then when the time comes, open up your video in YouTube Studio, hit edit, go down to where it says upload a thumbnail, and you go ahead and pull up where you saved it from and put that as your thumbnail. You don't have to use those funny pictures that they put up there as choices for you to use. It really caught me in some weird positions, and I didn't know how to make a thumbnail first. So you'll see a bunch of them there, and actually I have old videos on there. I haven't decided whether to take off the ones I did the first time I was on YouTube. They're journals of my life when I was doing a journal for my blog, and I was making videos and putting them on the blog so people could go there rather than me typing everything out. And I didn't know how to make it fit the right way, so they're all upright. They were done vertically. And my very first video for the writing for Authortube was also done vertically because I didn't know how to make it horizontal. Never thought about turning the phone. Like I said, I'm not very smartphone savvy, and I have a lot of things to learn when it comes to all this technological stuff. But that, if you could see, is a very simple way to make a YouTube thumbnail, and it'll be the right size when you put it up there. You won't have, you know, dark black sides on each side of your video. It should fit correctly, and so far mine have looked fine. So this was part 4. I'm not sure if I'm going to ever get to anything on editing, because I just can't seem to learn right now how to edit a video, so I'm stuck there. The only other thing I can do is do a video on setting up your dashboard on YouTube for when the landing page, when somebody clicks on your channel, you know, types in Teresa Smay and the page comes up, you know, you could create a banner, header, whatever you want to call it, and, you know, setting that up. But that's really fairly short and fairly simple. So this is part 4. I mean, there may be a part 5 if I decide to go ahead and do that. I would have to mess with it again to remember how I did it because it took a lot of back and forth to get it to where I liked it. I mean, when mine comes up, you're going to see a teal banner. Again, it's all teal. There's no pictures. I did just the text on there, and that's the way I like it, just plain and simple. Some people go all out with the pictures, and, you know, it's personal choice. So I might do a video on that. I try to do videos at least once or twice a week. And if you like these videos, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss one. Until the next time, have a blessed day. Bye-bye.